Hello everyone, it's your sister Roland, and all I need is a few minutes to go over this post. So today we're doing a Reddit reaction to this post that was posted about 15 days ago, and it was posted by someone called by the username, Mama Bear XX3. So it says AITA. What that means is, am I the a-hole? Is right up there. For using my husband's savings to repurchase the bike that he took from our daughter. So this is what happened. My daughter received a bike from her uncle. My brother on okay, so the uncle was the lady's brother. On her 11th birthday, she was over the moon and excited to use it because it was on her wish list for so long. Days ago, I discovered that my husband reached out to my brother to ask for the recipient. I think she's trying to say receipt, but she wrote recipient for the bike and returned it to the store and kept the money for himself while my daughter was at school. The bike was at home. So the bike was at home, the daughter was at school, so he did it when she was not there, when the daughter wasn't there. My daughter and I got home and she started crying after noticing the bike was gone. So she probably saw it's gone and she probably thinking somebody stole it. And so that's probably why she's crying. Plus she's 11, she's a kid. My husband was home at the time. He told me he returned the bike and got money in return to spend on something useful for us since the bike was just there as a distraction. And there was no need for it now since we're the dead of winter. I guess we're in the dead of winter. I was aggravated and lost it on him, saying it wasn't his. Didn't come from him. It wasn't his and it didn't come from him. And he didn't pay for it, so he had no right to touch it, especially knowing our daughter's been wanting it for a long time. And my brother was decent enough to buy it for her despite barely having enough money to get him by. I told him what he did was theft and insisted he hand over the money to me so I could repurchase it. But he said he spent it on stuff for the house and he doesn't have any money left now. But I knew about the money he was stashing away in the bedroom and that he forbade me from touching. And I took some of it and went out to repurchase the bike. While he was out the next day, he found out and verbally lashed out at me, saying I should have never touched the money he was saving for himself, which isn't much, but I lashed right back that I had to so I could repurchase the bike he took from under our daughter. He explained that he didn't keep the money for himself and instead spent it for necessities for our home. But he was at fault for taking the bike in the first place, and he was responsible for getting it back. He yelled at me for almost 10 minutes, then stormed outside and started smoking. My daughter asked why her dad was upset and that she no longer wants the bike if dad doesn't want her to have it. But I assured her that's not the case and told her she shouldn't feel guilty and to just focus on enjoying her bike. My husband hasn't stopped grilling me on how I disrespected and undermined him and managed to make our daughter hate him after making him look like the bad guy. I again said he shouldn't have touched the bike. End of the story. He called me thief and juvenile for taking money from his savings and being sneaky about it. Am I the a-hole for the way I got the bike back? So that was a lot to digest. Oh my goodness. That was a whole lot of stuff going on there. A whole lot of stuff. But let's get into this. So this little girl got the bike from her uncle, and somehow her dad actually decided that he would take the bike, return it, and then keep the money. I could understand you take the bike and return it if it was a distraction, since it is winter. She won't be able to ride it until, maybe spring comes in or summer. But if you are going to do that, at least you return it, get the money, and then get something else for her, something else that is going to distract her from what you did. But the fact that you had this guy had, if this is true, even if this is actually true, the fact that you had to go and take your daughter's bike to buy stuff for the house, that's telling, because that's something you could have, hey, let me do a few more hours at work to cover these expenses, or let me get hey, if I'm needing to take my daughter's bike and resell it to get some money for the house, maybe I need to find another job that pays well, or maybe I need to get more skills so that I could get a better paying job. Or even maybe if my wife is not working, maybe you probably need to get a job so we are able to cover certain expenses where we don't have to be taken from our children, especially something that was made on sacrifice according to the wife, because the uncle bought it, and he is not doing too financially well, but since she had it on her list so long, so he decided to get it from her. And this is another thing. The way this happened, it was like ridiculous. And not only did he do that, but he had money stashed away. So if things were needed in the house, that's why we usually have, different. That's why you need to have several savings, just in case. But there was money that he could have used, but he didn't want to use it because he said the money was for him. Even though he's in a family, he has a wife. He at least he has a daughter. I'm not sure if there's other kids, but he has a wife and he has a daughter. But he has money that he's saving and hiding for himself, though he have a family. And this is the thing when you're dealing with certain selfish men. This is why it's very important to vet certain people and to watch them, because trust me, his selfishness had showed up in dating. But sometimes we are not paying attention, or we overlook it, or we dismiss it, and then whatever the person was when you're dating, it's just going to amplify when you're married. So if they were selfish already when you're dating them, they're going to be more selfish. They're going to become more selfish, because when you and your wife get married, you are one. What is yours is mine. What is mine is yours. That's how it's supposed to be. But of course, in this new age, that's not how it is. That's why we have so much chaos in certain families. That's why the kids are confused and doing a lot of stuff they have no business doing, because the mom and dad is not in one accord. So if you're not in one, a house divided cannot stand. The Bible tells you that. If what's yours is yours and what's mine is mine, you are divided and you will not stand. You will not stand. You will not stand to raise healthy children in the society, and you will not stand to outlast and to say, hey, we've been together for 40, 50 years and we're still in love. You won't be able to stand. And another important thing is a lot of important stuff. But another thing that I want to go over is the fact that when he took the bike back to get the money for it, and then his wife was chastising him for what he did, he didn't feel no guilt. He didn't care. He stuck to his guns. He stuck to his story. I did it because we needed stuff for the house. But when the tables were turned on him, he got angry. He got upset, and then he in a sense, he made everybody start, doubting themselves. Everybody start, in a sense, catering to him. Like somebody who having a tantrum. Because I've seen a lot of mothers do that with their sons, and some dads do that with their daughters. Like the child have a tantrum, and then you had already said you wasn't going to give them this, and then you end up giving them it. What you're teaching, what you're doing to them, that's exactly what they're going to do when they're in a relationship. When they don't get their way, they go do tantrums, they do all kind of stuff, so they can manipulate people to get to get what they want. It doesn't change. So when your child gets tantrums and you had already said, no, you're not going to get this, or you're going to get it at a later time, and then because of the tantrum you give in, you're not helping that child, actually. And that's going to mold them into the adult that they are going to be. And then that adult is going to be a very manipulative adult. And this is what we see here with this man. With this, when you could see the little girl, after he saw that her dad was upset, she was like, I don't want the bike anymore since dad is upset. Though she wanted this bike a long time ago, it was on a wish list, and then when the minute that it was not there, she noticed it, because she was so attached, and then she started crying because she saw her bike was missing. And then so now because of the dad's tantrum, she doesn't want the bike anymore. She doesn't want it back anymore. And then now he has his wife on Reddit asking people, is she the a-hole? Am I the a-hole? Doubting herself, even though that she felt that, hey, I need to rectify this. And then usually men are usually close to their daughters for some mostly what I see, especially if they wanted the daughter. They're very close to their daughters. They do whatever they can for their children. But then this is just one scenario, but it's kind of weird for you to ask, you needed something for the house, and then you pick your daughter's bike. So that doesn't sit well with me. You took your daughter's bike and then to use the money. And then after all this, he went out there to start smoking. And I believe, because I heard this, I believe just like Tony Gaskins always say, the less morals a person have, the worse of a parent they're gonna be. So the more vices the person have, they're not gonna be a very good parent. And you could say, oh no, that's not true. My husband, my boyfriend, my baby daddy, he smoke, he drink, he go to strip club, and he's a good father. Okay, he's a good father. Not being a good father is not only providing, like paying all the bills, but does he affirm his children each and every day? If they would have some issues in school, is he right there by your side, not sitting in the chair looking at his watch, wondering when this meeting but gonna be over so he go to work, go back to work, or go and hang out with his friends, but actually sitting there and participating and asking questions? Does he affirm does he spend time with his children? Actually want to spend time with children. It's not you who, you never spend time with Brittany. You never spend time with Sean. It's not you who, encourage him to stay. He actually wants to be around his children, teaching them lessons, teaching them manners, teaching them respect, teaching them life lessons. Now, if he's not doing that, not saying he's not a good parent, but he's a go parent. He's a go parent. He don't have the OD yet. He's almost there. He gotta work somewhere. He gotta put in some work to get the OD. He's a go parent. Okay, he's a go parent, but he need to work on the OD. She need to work on the OD. So this was a lot to dissect. Probably other things in here, and then it was like 22K upvotes and a lot of comments. A lot of comments. But the main thing is if this is true, this marriage is way more than that. It's way this marriage, this relationship with his daughter is, yeah, it's something deeper than that. It's something deeper than a bike. It's something deeper, and if this is true, she really need to get some intervention and really sit down and talk to her husband and to get to see his state of mind. Yeah, because this is not good at all for you to do this, and you lash at me because I took the lash at me because you have money that you're saving for yourself, even though we're married, and then you took your daughter's bike that you know she wanted, and then took it back to the store. And yeah, this relationship is headed. It's not headed in the right direction at all. So that's all I had to say on this situation. So if you have any comments or what you saw, you could drop it down in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in another video. Bye.